Hey folks, it's Greg and Janet from Strange RV Tours. Today we are in Arcadia, Louisiana, and we're here on a Bonnie and Clyde tour, hunt, whatever you want to call it. Let's check this place out. Now, it looks like there's nothing left here. This is the former site of Congers Furniture and Funeral Parlor in Arcadia, Louisiana. Now, the reason that we're here is because this is the funeral home that took care of Bonnie and Clyde's bodies. On May 23rd, 1934, right after the ambush, their car was towed here into town with the bodies still in it. It was brought in through this was a big brick building. It was a furniture store. Now, if you can imagine, these small towns, they didn't have a funeral parlor. So the local furniture store owner decided, I'll put one in my shop. I'll put one in the back room. So that's what this was. It was a furniture store, but it also had a funeral parlor in it. So the bodies were brought in, and they were brought in through the back alley, correct, Jan? Or were they taken in through the front?
They were taken out of the car in the front.
Okay.
And it's already people were everywhere.
Yeah, it was crazy, guys. The word had gotten out that Bonnie and Clyde had been killed, and by the time they got the bodies here, there was 25,000 people here in town waiting for the arrival of the bodies. When they brought the car in and took the bodies out, before they took it out, the entire car was basically mobbed by the crowd of people. People were reaching in, trying to cut pieces of clothing off of Bonnie, trying to cut hair off of Clyde. One person actually tried to cut his trigger finger off. Somebody else tried to cut his ear off. Everybody wanted a memento, and this was back during the times when times were hard. We were just coming, you know, the Depression and Prohibition, everything was going on at that time period, and people were hurting for money, and this was a big deal for a small town. This town didn't even have 25,000 people in it. This town only had roughly probably 5,000 to 10,000 people, but people were coming from all over to get a sight of the dead bodies of Bonnie and Clyde. Today, this is the Henderson Jordan Memorial Park. The building is no longer here. Henderson Jordan served as the sheriff of Bienville Parish for 2 terms, 1932 to 1940. Prior to his tenure as sheriff, he served as a private first class in the 83rd Infantry Division of the United States Army during World War I. He married Annie Lesba Glower, and they had 2 children, Gloria and Larry. As sheriff of Bienville Parish, Jordan was one of 6 law enforcement officers who participated in the ambush of the notorious outlaws Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker on May 23, 1934, on Louisiana Highway 154 between Gibbsland and Salis. Other officers involved were Bienville Parish Deputy Prentice M. Oakley, Texas Rangers Frank Hammer and B.M. Manny Galt, and Dallas County, Texas deputies Robert Alcorn and Ted Hinton. Bonnie and Clyde were responsible for 13 murders, including 9 law officers and numerous armed robberies during their 4-year crime spree. So basically, they've torn down the furniture store and mortuary, funeral parlor, and they've turned it into a park. So they took something with a very nefarious background, and they made it a place where families can come enjoy, have picnics, sit down. Kids can have a good time, and the parents can talk about how mean and rough and gruff Bonnie and Clyde were. There is an alley that runs behind this wall in front of us. Where this wall was originally the back of the store. We're going to walk around to the back and see if there's anything behind this wall, see if we can see where there was any doors or anything, to see if we can find out exactly where the bodies were taken out of the mortuary, because they left out the back and were taken to Dallas. They were taken in 2 ambulances, separate ambulances, And Janet wants to find out if we can find the exact location of the doors.
Yeah.
Here's some newspaper clippings from when Bonnie and Clyde were killed. All of these, well, these photos here, these were all found in a can of film inside of one of the cameras that Bonnie and Clyde had in the vehicle when they were ambushed.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Oh.
And today Arcadia is still a little bitty town. Some towns just never get any larger.
Okay, back in the day, since it's just a small town, USA, the undertaker, the owner of the Congers furniture store and funeral parlor was C.F. Bailey. Okay, and they said they tore up that store. People were tearing it up, coming in, trying to get to see Bonnie and Clyde.
Yes,
Yeah.
when Frank Hamer arrived, the crowds were so large in front of the store and inside the store that he couldn't get to the back area where the funeral parlor was. So rather than fight the crowd, there's no way he's going to get through that crowd, he climbed up into the rafters of the building and crawled to the back of the building on the rafters and then dropped down into the mortuary area. That's
Yeah.
how crowded it was. Crazy.
But yeah, they said that they had a tough time embalming them because of all the holes. Darby was a coroner that from I don't know where he came from, but he helped Bailey plug up the holes so they can be embalmed. And the crowds were so big, they held off from leaving. Okay. They already had everything prearranged for their burial. Okay. Clyde Barrow's family already had it arranged where what funeral parlor they were going to have the ceremony, you know, the funeral, actual funeral. And same with Bonnie Parker's family. They all had it prearranged. They knew they weren't going to make it through all this. They didn't know when. They had it all prearranged. But,
That had to be little bitty ambulances. Look how narrow this is.
yeah, they said they're long and narrow. They were white. They're pretty cool looking on the footage I saw. But okay, there's the metal. Okay.
Yeah, but you can see part of the brick wall down here.
Can you? Awesome. But they had to pull them back and things started to die down in the middle of the night. I think they left about 4 a.m. Look at that. Let me show you a bit. Like a doorway maybe here?
I'm
right
thinking here where the concrete is.
Yeah.
There's
And then
another one over there that's got concrete on it.
I bet they had a loading door
Loading dock, yeah.
for furniture, bringing furniture.
Oh, of course.
Possible, huh?
Very possible.
That's what we had to do at Minyards on Preston Forest. We couldn't back a truck that way. We had to go sideways.
Yeah.
But they said the ambulances followed each other all the way down Highway 80. Interstate 20 did not exist, okay? So they loaded up back here about 4 a.m. Or about 4 to 6 a.m. And they took off on 80 together, following each other.
Heading to their
Dallas.
yes, for the funerals.
Yep. Now, look at this.
That had to be one sturdy building. That building is 3 courses of bricks.
Yep.
4 in some places.
Yep. Well, in the old days, they built things to last. Look at these. You know these are old.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. Cool. And that's where the restrooms are right here. Public restrooms. So Bailey and Darby worked on the bodies. They had to get out here and take off early morning. So, and they just followed each other into Dallas. They did stop, I believe, in Mineola for breakfast. I think it was Mineola. Somewhere on 80. No highway 20. No interstate. But
So that's all we got at this site, guys. Interesting place. I wish the building was still here, but it's not. So, but at least we got a feel for what this area is like. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, hit the little bell. Until next time, have a great day, guys.